Hi everyone. So I am late again posting my update. This time it wasn't my fault. I had planned on doing it yesterday, which was my last day of being 13 weeks. So technically I'm 14 weeks today. Hooray! Second trimester. I've been waiting for this moment. Feels like forever. But we'll party about that in the next video because this is about 13 weeks. I had planned on doing it yesterday, but then I had an emergency with my daughter. She was drinking a cup of water and it had like a lid and a straw with it. And she was standing behind me and she bumped into me, and then I just heard her scream and she dropped her cup. Well, basically, she bumped into me and scratched her right eye with the straw. The straw poked her eye, and then I think she tried like blinking or something and didn't quite move the cup in time because when I took her to the emergency room yesterday, they put like this dye in her eye and then looked at it with a black light to see where the scratch was. And it was like a big chunk of it, like right here. And then it went like up and behind her eye. Poor thing. It just, it kind of gives me heebie jeebies because, you know, eyes are really sensitive. And, you know, even with like an eyelash in your eye, it feels like there's a piece of sand or glass in your eye or something. It's painful. And luckily she didn't get the part of like your eye that you see out of. I don't know all the terms for eyeballs, so I'm just going with that. So luckily she didn't scratch that part of her eye. It was like right next to it. So her vision isn't blurred or anything, which is good. And her eye seems to be doing much better today than it did yesterday. But it was ultimately what made me go to the emergency room was like right after it happened, her whole like sinus cavity started swelling like super bad. And I was worried. I'm like, why is her face starting to swell? And like by the time I got to the hospital, which was about 20 minutes after it happened, like all up here was swollen. This was still swollen. Part of like her nose looked a little bit swollen, and even her lips started swelling a little bit. But after sitting there for a little while waiting to get in to a room, she just had like a cold washcloth on it, and the swelling seemed to go down. But yeah, I was really concerned about the swelling. And now it kind of makes sense why her sinus cavity was swelling, because of how close it got, like right in here. I think before I was pointing on the outer eye, but it's on the inner part of the eye. And yeah, that's pretty traumatizing for a 3-year-old. It was kind of traumatizing for me. Me and her both just couldn't really eat all day because we were so kind of shooken up about what happened. I was so worried that she did really bad damage to her eye, but luckily the doctor said eyes heal pretty fast, and we've got some antibiotic ointment to put in her eye. It's a pain to get it in there, but once we get it done, it's all good, and she's doing just fine today. So anyways, back to my 13-week update. That is why I could not film yesterday, but I am filming today, and I just kind of noticed that I was wearing this same shirt in my last update video. I swear I don't wear this shirt all the time. I actually have not even worn this shirt since last week when I filmed. So yeah, I don't know. It's not like my favorite shirt. It's not one that I wear all the time. It just happened to be that way. Anyways, I'm rambling on now. So symptoms for my 13-week update. This is one I have not mentioned before, but it has been progressively getting worse throughout my pregnancy. And Some of these started when I was pregnant with my daughter, but I have really bad spider veins on my legs, and they just seem to be getting worse. I'm finding them in new spots, and I will give you guys a quick glimpse at what that looks. So I've got marks on my legs, sorry, but all these veins, these started when I was pregnant with my daughter, but I feel like they're just kind of spreading more. And then I noticed those. Some of this started, I think like this part started when I was pregnant with my daughter, but now it's like, and it's kind of hard to tell, but it's like all right here. And guys, I honestly can't tell, but I feel like my ankles look a little bit swollen too, which is really unusual for me. I don't swell like that. I've never swelled in any of my pregnancies, but I do have a doctor's appointment today, and I'll talk to him about it. And then like, that's not a spider vein, but that has gotten so much more prominent. Like I don't even know where that came from. But like that's kind of one that I think is starting. And then I have a little bit on this leg, like starting right here. And then those are the ones that like are brand new. And I was like, holy crap, that's really bad. I mean, I guess they're not dangerous. I don't really know. I don't think so. I think when I brought this to my doctor's attention when I was pregnant with my daughter, they just recommended, yeah, that's about it. When I brought it up to my doctor last time, when I was pregnant with Avery, I think he just recommended like compression socks or something, but I'm not gonna wear those. So not unless it was like I had to. But yeah, I don't know. It kind of bothers me to see all these veins just like popping out of nowhere, and they're really not attractive, and they don't go away. So I guess I'll just have to deal with it. So the veins are one of the symptoms. My nausea I've noticed it getting a lot better. Little things will still kind of spike my gag reflexes. Like if I've eaten too much and not necessarily full. Like I have a really hard time even getting full because just like my gag reflexes will kick in, and then it just is really hard to eat. But yeah, usually like if I eat too much, or like what was really weird yesterday morning, I woke up feeling perfectly fine. Like there was nothing to it. And I went downstairs and I yawned. And just yawning like made me gag. And then I started throwing up. And I mean, I didn't have anything in my stomach yet, so it was more of just like dry heaves and nothing coming up. But yeah, so I thought that was really weird. And then I do periodically get like nausea throughout the day. But it's more like I get really bad heartburn, which is one of the other symptoms. And I've mentioned that before, that everything gives me heartburn. And it's more like the heartburn just kind of makes me, like the sensation of heartburn makes me nauseous. So I don't really think I'm going through morning sickness anymore. I think it's just certain things that make me feel nauseous that I'm experiencing. And this morning, though, I woke up and I avoided yawning as best as I could. And I actually drank a cup of coffee. Not a full one, about a half a cup, but I was able to drink coffee, and I was so excited because I've been really wanting to drink coffee again. Now that like the weather's getting cooler and it's like a lot colder in the mornings, I really crave that hot cup of coffee. So I'm excited that I'm able to drink that. And another thing that kind of spikes my nausea too is if I've waited too long to eat. And I know that like goes along with morning sickness, but I don't really feel like I'm experiencing morning sickness anymore. It's just I get those feelings of nausea if I've waited too long to eat, and I seriously feel hungry all the time. Like 30 minutes to an hour after I eat a meal, I'm like, I need to eat something already, or else I'm going to start to feel sick. And yeah, I thought that I was done with that, but I guess not. But I'm really hoping now that I'm getting into my second trimester, that I'm at the beginning of it, that in the next few weeks that will just be done. Like, I don't really mind being hungry all the time. I can snack on stuff here and there, but I just don't like feeling like the if I don't eat, you know? So hopefully that will be done soon. And then the last thing, I don't really know if this is pregnancy related. I heard that it could be, but vision changes. I feel like I have to wear my glasses all the time. Like, I'm not wearing them right now, but things are blurry, and I should probably put them on instead of trying to strain my eyes to see things. But I feel like I've had to wear my glasses a lot. Like, everything is blurry, and I don't always have to wear my glasses. Like, my eyes aren't always that bad, but I just feel like they're just getting worse as this pregnancy is progressing. But like I said, it may not even be pregnancy related. It could just be that my eyes are turning to crap and I need to get a stronger prescription glasses. Like, even my physician, she's like, when was your last eye exam? And I'm like junior year of high school, so that was like 10 or 11 years ago. She's like, you need to get an eye exam done because you probably need a different prescription, which is probably true, but my insurance does not cover vision right now, and we don't really have the funds for me to go get an eye exam and new glasses and all that. So in time, when things start to look a little bit better with our finances, I will go do that. But until then, my glasses are doing just fine. Cravings. This is kind of a craving, and I don't know why I haven't mentioned it before. I think I just forget. But usually I am not a Mexican food type person. Like, I don't hate it, but I have to be in the mood to eat it. And I am usually like, I don't know, anything but Mexican food. And I have actually craved a lot of Mexican food this pregnancy. I ate like an entire box of bean and cheese burritos that we bought. And I've been craving like smothered burritos, enchiladas, nachos, the pickled jalapenos that you put on everything. I love those. What else? Yesterday, I got like this huge craving for like Taco Bell bean and cheese burritos with like all the onions on the inside. I don't know if they still put onions on the inside. I don't really go to Taco Bell, like hardly ever at all. And I haven't had one of their bean burritos since early high school years. So I don't really know how they are anymore, but I was craving something along those lines. So I went and bought all the stuff to make bean burritos at home, and we had those for dinner last night, and it was so good. So I don't know where this Mexican food craving has come from, but my husband is in heaven because Mexican food is his favorite, and before I never really wanted it. So he's happy about that. And okay, guys, I mentioned this last week in my update, and the craving has not stopped, but it is the imitation crab. I bought a bigger bag this time, and I've gone through this much of it in 2 days. So I don't really know where that craving has come from. Like I said, I haven't had that since high school, and that was a long time ago. So yeah, I don't know where this crab craving has come from. We'll see how long it lasts. You know, sometimes I just go through phases of things, and I don't know. We'll see. It's weird. um, and then I have craved this in every pregnancy, and I've mentioned this before. Soda. Usually I am not a soda person. The only carbonated drinks I'll really drink is like LaCroix or something along those lines. And but every pregnancy I crave soda a lot. So I drink probably about one soda a day. Not like a can, like we usually buy the 2 liters, so I'll have just like a glass of it, or sometimes I'll just stop at McDonald's because they're only $1 and just get a soda there. I do drink water. I know you're supposed to drink a lot of water in pregnancy, but usually the first trimester is really hard to drink water. But actually, this whole first trimester, I've been able to drink water. But the only way I can really drink water is if it's super, super cold. Like if a water bottle has been in the fridge overnight, or if I have a glass of water, there has to be a lot of ice in it. It has to be super cold for me to tolerate it. If it gets to about room temperature, like my water is now, I won't drink it. I will go switch it out. I'll go put it in the fridge and drink it like later tonight, and I will grab a new one because it just has to be really cold. And I don't know why that is, but oh well, nothing wrong with cold water. So it's not super weird. And then last but not least of my cravings, I've told you guys that I have been craving a lot of candy, but I have found myself really gravitating towards one type of candy. And as you guys saw in my last Target fall haul video, if you haven't, go check it out. I bought a giant bag of the Fire Cinnamon Jolly Ranchers. And it's not that kind in particular that I crave. It is just all Jolly Ranchers. So Jolly Ranchers are my main candy I just gravitate towards. And that's fine because Jolly Ranchers are awesome. And I don't eat them very often. Like when I'm not pregnant, I usually eat a little bit healthier, and I don't eat candy very often. So I'm enjoying it while I still can. So now the baby size last week, according to my What to Expect app, the baby was the size of a lemon, about 3 inches and 1 ounce. According to the Baby Center app, though, it was the size of a pea pod. I'm assuming just like the length of it. And it didn't really tell me the length or weight or anything like that of what the baby would be. It just said pea pod. So I just decided to go with the lemon. And I can't believe how big the baby is getting. And what's weird, and I really don't know if this is anything at all. I remember the first time I ever felt my son move. It felt like kind of when you get like a muscle twitch, and it will sit and twitch for a while or a little while. That is how it felt the first time I felt my son. And I can't remember when I started to feel him. It was probably about 17 or 18 weeks. But just recently, towards the end of week 13 and now in week 14, and this happened to me just a little bit ago, and that's why I'm bringing it up, I started feeling those muscle twitches, like right where the baby should be. And like I'll try and feel it on the outside of my stomach, and I can't feel anything on the outside of my stomach. Like my stomach's not moving. I can't feel it with my hands or anything. It is like deep inside my stomach. And that might sound ridiculous because the baby is still so small. But I don't know. It's so weird. It feels like that little muscle twitch, and it just like will start going for probably about 20 to 30 seconds, and then it'll stop. So I don't really know what that is. It could just be a muscle twitch. But I was not sure if maybe if the baby is close enough to the edge or whatever that I might feel it. I know its legs are still really teeny, but I don't know. You tell me what you think. I might sound really stupid asking this question, but yeah, I don't know. You tell me what you think, because that sounds ridiculous, like at 14 weeks. But I have also been told that with like every pregnancy that you have, you start to experience things sooner. And this is my third child. And so I don't know if, I don't know, maybe I'm just feeling it early, or maybe I'm not feeling it at all and it's nothing and I just sound stupid. But anyways, tell me what you think. And I am so excited that I am in my second trimester now, because now comes the really fun videos that I've had in mind for so long, that I have like been so anxious to film. So subscribe to my channel, guys, so that you can follow me through the rest of this pregnancy, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of those new videos that I was just talking about that I can't wait to post. And go ahead and like this video, and feel free to leave a comment, guys. I really am open to answering any questions or responding to any positive comments, any advice, anything. So thanks, guys. I will see you probably in just a few days to film my 14-week video, but I will post a updated bump picture. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next